One of the first things we're going to do is heat up our cast iron skillet. This is my 100-plus-year-old Victor cast iron skillet that belonged to my grandfather when he would go fishing in Canada. And we're going to use that to brown off the meat to start. Let me get my spatula out here. And we're going to brown the meat in batches. Using my impeccably clean hands with it, which I've washed. And you can hear the sizzle. I like my chili very, very meaty. So I'm using about 2 pounds of ground beef and a pound of sausage. A lot of people don't realize, but cooking in cast iron is actually good for you as well, because some of the iron does chelate into your food. So we just want to get a good sear on the meat. And I've only got the burner on number 2. It's the electric range. I've only got the burner on 2. So once your cast iron gets hot, it doesn't take a lot of energy to cook with it. So we're just going to let that go for a few minutes here. So this is a chili con carne, or with meat. And the addition of the beans gives you fiber. So we'll come back as the meat, after we get the meat browned. All right, we've got the meat browned off, and this is what it looks like. It's 2 pounds of ground beef, 1 pound of Bob Evans sausage. For those of you that don't know, Bob Evans is a brand that started in Rio Grande, Ohio. And this past weekend I was at the farm festival at the original farm where the brand originated. At this point I've added no seasoning whatsoever to the meat. I've got my Instant Pot or Crockpot Express over here. And I'm going to put it on brown saute in order to let the container preheat. This unit is like the Crockpot Express or the Instant Pot. It can be used to slow cook, to rice cook, to make beans and chili, yogurt, meat, stew, multigrain rice cooker. You can even bake like cheesecakes in it. It's a very cool unit. While I am waiting on that to preheat, I am going to start getting my various ingredients ready to add. So we will open up the tomato puree, and this is a very neat can opener, because what it does, it takes the lid off, but it doesn't leave any sharp edges. It's made by Farberware. So it unseals the entire lid, leaving no sharp edges whatsoever. I definitely recommend this type of a can opener. if you don't have the easy open cans. And I always keep a little paper towel beside me. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and add my meat to the pot. And to drain the meat, I used what's called a spider to take everything out of it. Very, very handy tool because you can scoop and strain things very easily. I'm using a 29-ounce can of tomato puree, a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. Tomato paste is a highly concentrated form of tomatoes, which gives a super good richness to it and a lot of added tomato flavor. As you can see, it's very, very thick. A little bit of water, but the puree itself, or the paste itself, stayed in place. Open up my petite diced tomatoes here. Siren you hear, this is noon on Wednesday, and every noon here in Ohio they test the tornado sirens. So there's the petite diced tomatoes. So we're going to start, let's start by adding in the tomato paste here so it can be cooking down. You can see just how thick that is. Make sure we get every last bit of it here. Now we'll add our tomato puree. Again, make sure we get every drop of it out of here. Our petite diced tomatoes. Gives a little bit of texture. Now what I like to do is to drain off my beans. So I just, since it's an easy open can, I just open a little bit. And I just pour to drain off the liquid. In southern terms, that's called pot liquor. And I drain off most of it because I want most of my flavor to be from the tomatoes and the seasonings and not from the canning liquid on the beans. So just about got it here. Open that the rest of the way. That's the light red kidney beans. So they're going in. Same process with the dark red and the black beans. by using no salt added beans, it allows me to control the seasoning better. But I like the different flavors of the different beans. A lot of people just use the kidney bean, or the darker light red kidney beans. But call me weird, I like an assortment. Just the way I am. So there, I've got that. Now we're going to give that all a mix here. Try to get everything mixed down through. Wow, I might not even need any thickening agent on this. This is very, very hearty. So based on what I'm seeing, it's so thick, I'm going to just add a can of tomato sauce instead of tomato juice. And this is a 29-ounce can of tomato sauce. Same size they use for the puree. So puree is thicker than sauce, and paste is thicker than puree, and juice is the thinnest. So those are your varying degrees of tomato liquids. So when I gave that a good shake before I opened it, now we're going to do a little seasoning. So we're going to start with a generous bit of salt. And this can all be adjusted as you go. But start out light because it's easier to add seasoning than it is to remove it. We're freshly ground black pepper. Some Goya adobo powder. Adobo contains salt, garlic, black pepper, oregano, and turmeric. So again, generous dash of that. Bear in mind, at this point, this is the first seasoning I've added to anything. A little bit of sweet paprika. And some granulated garlic. Another good stir to mix. Now my chili cooks long and slow, so I'm going to reduce the pressure or the heat from high to low. And actually, I'm going to start it at 12 hours. I'm going to put my lid on. Close it. Leave the vent closed. And hit start. And now it's going to cook long and slow for 12 hours. We'll be back periodically to check on it and keep posted.